relevant. We can turn to the gods. We are allowed to have our own ascents. It's not just for prophets. It's what you seek after. The symbols, we're not meant to stop at the symbols. We are to use them to further push ourselves through the veil, so to speak. This is me talking, not Lundquist, but this is my idea. When he goes into the individual details of the temple, what intrigues me at this point in my presentation of the various types of symbols associated with our figure 7, the pole of men, which Wainwright associated with the Yggdrasil, the Scandinavian world tree. Lundquist on page 59 notes, the tree has been a universal symbol of, and get this again, it's a unification, but this is the union of life at the human level with the underworld, the roots, and the heavens, the branches. Sacred trees are a feature of many religions. In Christianity, yes, the tree which bore the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden was sometimes identified with the tree of the cross. Christ as the second Adam, redeeming the sin of the first Adam. He elaborates further on pages 88 and 89 concerning the tree of life. Trees are potent symbols of cosmic unity, the unification, their roots reaching into the underworld, their branches to heaven. The Judaic myth of the tree of the knowledge and the fall of man is prefigured in Babylonian cylinder seals. These show two figures seated by a sacred tree, and it has a serpent behind the one on the left. We remember in India, the Buddha attained enlightenment under a tree, and in Mexico, the Mixtec people were believed to have been born from a womb tree. And it was in the Norse mythology that the tree attained its greatest prominence. The gigantic world tree Yggdrasil supported the cosmos with sacred springs at its foot, a serpent at its roots, and an eagle in its branches. The various types of tree is very important throughout the ancient world. And, of course, we have the tree of life symbolism described from the visions of Lehi as well as of Nephi, which I want to get to because of Daniel Peterson's article, Nephi and his Asherah. I want to touch on a couple of things about the tree that Nephi understood based on ancient Near Eastern principles, and then share the symbolism of the min pole with the principal idea of the tree, and everything associated with this tree is beautifully brought out with the Wedge-eye and the serpent figure presenting that Wedge-eye and Min's ithophalic nature, as well as that throne, as well as the lotus plant. And the reason that this is the case is because the Min pole has been identified, one, with the ladder symbolism of Jacob at Bethel, the principle of ascending to the heavens, but the Min pole has been equated with Yggdrasil and the Asherah pole, and Asherah has been shown by recent archaeological, linguistic, and scholarly research into the Bible and into the ancient world of the tree information. The gods are married, and not just everyone else's gods, but the gods of the Bible, El Elyon and Yahweh, as the scholars show, Mark Smith, Frank Moorcross Jr., William F. Albright. All of them are discussing this principle that Judaism incorporated in itself, or understood, its neighbor's religion, and it's based, because of the Ugaritic texts, as well as the Rosh Shamra documents that we have now, Asherah has been identified as wisdom, personified as the female aspect of wisdom, later on in the Zohar as the Shekinah, which the Zohar is huge on, and I want to share a lot of that material with you also. But Yahweh was married. El Elyon was married. Now, Yahweh later took over the functions of El in the Hebrew Bible. This El is based upon the Canaanite pantheon of the gods, the council of the gods. And there are doctoral dissertations discussing that, from non-LDS scholars now. These are huge themes in our LDS theology. The premortal council of the gods in, of all places, our own book of Abraham. Yes, right with these three facsimiles. Yes, the pre-council of the gods and the post-council of the gods as a genuine at-one-ment. Fantastically illustrated and elaborated on verbally through the written word as well as the pictorial symbolism. That book of Abraham is a pearl of great price, just like the book of Moses is. So I want to jump onto this. And my reasoning for presenting this information on the Asherah as the wife of God and the mother of the gods is directly associated with facsimile 2, figure 7, the Min-Horus figure, because he is ithyphallic. And his principles are the same principles that the mother goddess has, and she is in this figure 7, either as that serpent or as the wedge-out eye. So there are female-male elements, and the whole idea is rejuvenation of life. And how do you do that? Through sexual procreation, definitely. It's not illicit. It's not nasty, dirty. This is the sacred Hieros Gamos that had grander symbolisms throughout the entire cosmos besides just earthly humans or heavenly deities. It is as above, so below. This is the entire Egyptian Hermetic doctrine, elaborated on pictorially in our figure 7, and wonderfully elaborated on in the archaeological inscriptions that we now have. So let me turn to Dan Peterson's article, Nephi in his Asherah. This was in the Mormon Scripture and the Ancient World, Studies in honor of John L. Sorensen from Farms, 1998. Beginning on page 204, he notes that John Day argues, just as the Ugaritic goddess Asherah was the wife of El and the mother of the gods, the Israelite Asherah, the consort of the chief Hebrew deity, was the mother of the divine children of God. In other words, at the creation of the earth, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy, see, this is the famous scripture, Job 38:7, Asherah appears to have been there too, among her children. Furthermore, as among the Canaanites, Asherah was also associated with human earthly fertility and human childbirth. Skipping to 205, page 205, that is, Asherah seems to have been associated with trees. Asherah is the tree. Perhaps we should think again here of the Israelite goddess figurines. It will be recalled that their upper bodies are unmistakably anthropomorphic and female, but their lower bodies, in contrast to those of their pagan Canaanite counterparts, are simple columns. William Dever suggests that these columnar lower bodies represent tree trunks. And why not? Asherah is a tree goddess, and as such is associated with the oak, the tamarisk, the date palm, the sycamore, and many other species. This association led to her identification with sacred trees or the tree of life. Asherah's symbol may have been a living tree or a sacred grove of some sort, but scholarly consensus seems to be growing behind the proposition that the lowercase Asherah was most commonly a carved wooden image, perhaps some kind of pole. And I want to recall that Wainwright, the Egyptologist, identified the Asherah pole as equivalent or being associated or having something to do with Min's pole. And this, of course, is the cosmological axis.